One minute, they were just familiar faces on low-budget Yoruba movie sets, sleeping in cramped apartments, borrowing clothes for shoots, collecting transport fare after long filming days. The next minute, everything changed. Phones started ringing non-stop. Bank alerts began dropping like rain in August. Expensive cars appeared. Mansions replaced face me, I face you rooms. And people began to whisper one dangerous sentence. He became rich overnight. Stay with me, because the first name on this list is one you never expected to see here. 1. Lateef Adedemiji. For years, Lateef Adedemiji was everywhere, but somehow still nowhere financially. He acted back-to-back, played intense village roles, suffered heartbreak characters, and delivered emotional performances that made audiences cry. Yet, despite his talent, he wasn't considered box office gold. He was respected, but not richly rewarded. Then, everything changed. The moment Lateef crossed fully into high-budget cinema and streaming productions, the industry's perception of him flipped overnight. His performances in major Yoruba and English Nollywood films didn't just go viral, they became talking points. Producers suddenly saw him as a guaranteed return on investment. His fees reportedly multiplied within a short period, and endorsement deals followed almost immediately. Within months, Lateef moved from being that talented actor to a certified industry heavyweight. Bigger sets, better scripts, international recognition. From the outside, it looked like sudden wealth, but insiders knew this was years of consistency finally paying off, fast and loud. 2. Odunlade Adekola. This name sounds obvious now, but many forget how sudden his financial explosion truly was. Odunlade Adekola had acted for years, but it took just one breakout role to turn him into a phenomenon. After his rise, producers didn't just want him, they needed him. Movies without Odunlade struggled. Movies with him sold out. Almost overnight, his appearance fees skyrocketed. He became one of the highest paid Yoruba actors, sometimes earning more from a single film than he once made in an entire year. Endorsements rolled in, political campaigns wanted his face, and marketers trusted his name blindly. What made Odunlade's rise shocking wasn't fame, it was dominance. Once the door opened, he didn't just enter, he took over. But these two are only the beginning. The next actor on this list went from being constantly mocked for his looks and voice to becoming one of the most financially successful faces in modern Yoruba cinema. Ibrahim Chatta. For a long time, Ibrahim Chatta was known more for controversy than cash. He was branded difficult, misunderstood, and repeatedly sidelined by the same industry he helped build. Despite his raw talent, roles dried up, opportunities vanished. At a point, many people believed his career was finished. Then came the comeback nobody expected. A string of powerful cinema roles and critically praised performances suddenly placed Ibrahim Chatta back in the center of attention. His storytelling depth, command of dialogue, and emotional delivery stood out in a new era of serious filmmaking. Producers who once avoided him now chased him aggressively. The financial turnaround was shocking. Within a short period, Chatta moved from industry exile to one of the most sought-after actors and producers in Yoruba cinema. His fees rose sharply, his personal productions began doing massive numbers, and his influence expanded beyond acting into full creative control. To outsiders, it looked like he became rich overnight. To him, it was delayed justice. 4. Afezowo. Afezowo had acted since childhood, yet for years he remained stuck in supporting roles. Viewers loved his presence, but the industry didn't fully invest in him. He was consistent, dependable, and underpaid. Then, cinema happened. The shift from straight-to-video films to big-screen Yoruba productions flipped Afezowo's financial story almost instantly. Once audiences began to see him in strong leading roles, his market value exploded. His calm delivery, mature screen presence, and loyal fan base turned him into a producer's safe bet. Within a short time, his income multiplied through acting, directing, and producing. The same man once overlooked suddenly had leverage, choosing scripts instead of begging for roles. It felt sudden, but it was the reward of patience stretching over decades. 5. Kule's wealth didn't come from acting alone, and that's what makes his story unique. While many of his colleagues waited for breakthrough roles, Kule quietly built power behind the camera. When he finally cracked the code of producing commercially successful Yoruba films, his financial status changed rapidly. One successful project led to another. Money stopped trickling, it started flowing. To fans, it looked like Kunle Afrad woke up wealthy. In reality, he simply positioned himself where the real money lived. And yet, the most dramatic transformation is still ahead. By the time these next names rose, the industry had already learnt one hard lesson: never underestimate consistency, timing, and reinvention. 6. Femi Adebayo. For years, Femi Adebayo carried a heavy label, the son of a legend. No matter how well he acted, many people believed his career was built on inheritance, not talent. He was respected but rarely feared in the market. Then came the turning point. When Femi fully embraced cinema storytelling and began producing high-quality historical and epic films, everything changed almost instantly. One major project exploded across streaming platforms, cinemas, and social media. His name stopped being a comparison and became a brand. Financially, the shift was dramatic. Acting fees increased, production returns skyrocketed, and endorsements followed. In a short period, Femi Adebayo moved from being underrated to one of the most financially powerful figures in modern Yoruba cinema. To the public, it looked sudden. In reality, it was strategy meeting opportunity. 7. Muyiwa Ademola. Muyiwa Ademola had always been respected but never truly celebrated as a money-making star. He took a long break that made many assume his relevance was fading. Then he returned. And when he returned, he didn't come quietly. His comeback cinema film shattered expectations, broke records, and reintroduced him as a force. Overnight, his value multiplied. Old fans returned, new fans discovered him. Producers suddenly saw gold where they once saw nostalgia. That single return flipped his financial status faster than anyone imagined. What you just heard are not fairy tales. These are real Yoruba actors who tasted rejection, mockery, and silence before money ever called their names. Their lives remind us that success doesn't always announce itself early. Sometimes it hides, watches, and strikes when everyone has stopped paying attention. Today, people see the cars, the houses, the soft life. They forget the years of sleeping on set floors, the unpaid roles, the times these men were told they were not good enough. Nobody claps for that part, but without it, there would be no overnight wealth. So whether you are a creative, a business owner, or someone quietly grinding in the shadows, remember this: your story is not finished. Yoruba cinema proves it again and again. The industry might ignore you today, but tomorrow it might not function without you. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because more deep Nollywood stories are coming. Stories they don't tell you openly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fashion of Moncross Monday. Our Moncross today is no other person than Ibrahim Shattered and Zori Zazad and Ibrahim Shatta. Ibrahim Shatta is a fantastic actor. He's a very indigenous actor. He's very talented. He's very superlative. When you see Ibrahim, you see action.